I read this completely wild statistic the other
Yeah.
day.
What was it?
Well, it turns out that a badly designed loyalty program doesn't just, sit there being ignored on your phone.
Mm.
It actually actively lowers a customer's overall opinion of your brand.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, that makes total sense, honestly.
Right. Because think about your own smartphone right now.
Yeah.
If you were to unlock it and just swipe over to that one messy folder of apps we all have.
Oh, the digital graveyard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet you have at least half a dozen loyalty apps or digital point cards just sitting there gathering virtual dust.
Oh, easily. Probably more.
Right, you signed up for a free coffee like 3 years ago, or you wanted a 10% discount on a haircut, and then you just never, ever looked at it again. It feels like every brand on the planet has a program, but so few of them actually make us, well, loyal.
Yeah, it creates this massive phenomenon of digital fatigue. For the consumer, it's just this sea of unused points, forgotten passwords, irrelevant push notifications. The friction of actually participating totally outweighs the perceived reward.
That makes total sense. But behind that consumer fatigue, there is an absolute gold rush happening right now. And our sources today are pointing specifically at Thailand. The sheer amount of money pouring into customer retention strategies over there is just staggering.
Oh, it's massive.
Let me put this in perspective. Just how big is this loyalty market getting?
We're looking at a space experiencing practically, well, unprecedented growth.
Yeah.
Based on the latest projections, the Thai loyalty program market is on track to hit $672.8 million by 2025.
Wait, million? That's huge.
Yeah, and the trajectory doesn't just flatten out there. By 2029, it's expected to cross the $1.12 billion mark.
Over $1 billion.
Exactly. You're looking at a compound annual growth rate of 13.7%. So retailers, food and beverage chains, health clinics, they're all finally realizing that acquiring a new customer is vastly more expensive than just keeping an existing one.
Right.
So they're in an absolute sprint to lock in these relationships.
Which means the stakes for those businesses are just incredibly high. And that brings us to our mission for you, the listener, in this deep dive. We want to equip you with a definitive 12-point checklist to really navigate this booming space.
Absolutely essential.
Right. So if you are a leader in marketing, operations, or managing CRM, customer relationship management, the whole overarching strategy of how you interact with your buyers, this deep dive, is specifically for you.
Yeah, because whether you run a retail empire, a fast food chain, or an aesthetics clinic, you need to know how to vet these platforms without stepping on a massive, super expensive landmine.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because if this platform choice is going to directly dictate whether a customer comes back to spend money or, abandons you for a competitor, you really can't just pick the vendor with the flashiest PowerPoint presentation.
No, definitely not. That's the fundamental and often fatal mistake a lot of companies make. They think a loyalty platform is simply an IT procurement tack, like buying antivirus software or something.
Right, just checking a box.
Exactly. But it's not an IT tool. A loyalty platform is a core business strategy. It dictates the entire customer journey for literally millions of people.
Yeah.
Over the long haul, it single-handedly determines your repeat visit rate, your average basket value, meaning how much people actually spend per trip, and your net promoter score, which measures if they would actually recommend you to a friend.
So we need to start right at the front door. I want to look at how the consumer actually interacts with the program on their phone, like on a Tuesday morning when they're rushing to get a coffee.
The front-end experience is the absolute make-or-break moment. It's the very first touch point.
First impressions are everything.
Exactly. If you introduce friction here, literally nothing else on our 12-point checklist matters. And, well, in the context of the Thai market, getting the front door right means acknowledging one inescapable reality.
Which is line.
Yes, line.
It's just hard to overstate how dominant that app is over there. There are 54 million Line users in Thailand.
Basically the entire connected population of the country.
Yeah. They use it for messaging, news, banking, like everything. So if your brand's loyalty program isn't living inside Line, you basically do not exist to the Thai consumer.
Which brings up a critical distinction that, honestly, a lot of vendors frequently gloss over during their pitches.
Oh, for sure.
You have to ask them a highly specific technical question. Does this platform integrate with our brand's Line official account natively, or is it just relying on a webhook?
Okay, I am going to push back a bit on the tech jargon here, just for a second.
Fair enough.
Why do vendors even offer these webhooks if they are supposedly so terrible for customer engagement. I mean, think about the real-world equivalent here. Using a webhook redirect is like a cashier telling you, hey, thanks for buying this shirt, but to get your loyalty points, I need you to walk down the street to a completely separate building, fill out a paper form, and get a card stamped.
Right.
You were going to lose the customer instantly.
Yeah.
Nobody is doing that.
What's fascinating here is the psychology of digital friction. Vendors offer webhooks because, well, they are significantly cheaper and way faster for their developers to build.
Oh, so it's a shortcut.
Exactly. A webhook basically allows a vendor to legally claim in a meeting, yes, our software connects to line, but the actual user experience is disastrous.
Yeah, it kicks them out.
Right. When the customer clicks a button in line to see their point balance or grab a digital coupon, the webhook kicks them entirely out of the line environment. It forces their phone to load an external browser page, or, even worse, demands they download a completely separate, standalone app.
And the moment they see a loading screen for a browser or an app store prompt, they are closing it.
The adoption rate plummets instantly. It effectively kills the loyalty program before the customer even registers their name.
Wow.
But native integration, on the other hand, means the points, the digital wallet, the rewards catalog, they all live directly and seamlessly within the line user interface.
They never have to leave the app.
Exactly. The customer stays where they are already comfortable. The friction is practically zero.
So native line integration is an absolute non-negotiable. If they redirect your customers, you just politely end the meeting and walk away.
Absolutely.
But it's not just about where the loyalty interface lives, is it? It's about how the points are collected across what is, frankly, a really chaotic shopping experience nowadays.
Oh, yeah. The journey is everywhere.
Consumers today just do not shop in a straight line. Like, they might browse a pair of sneakers on Shopee, decide they want to try them on, so they go to a physical retail store at the mall, and then later that evening, they might order dinner from a delivery app like GrabFood or Foodpanda.
And they expect a unified, omni-channel experience across all of that. They do not care about a brand's internal departmental silos.
Right.
If a customer is collecting points by scanning QR codes at a physical checkout counter, but those points do not immediately sync with their online e-commerce purchases, it just creates immense confusion.
And in the digital space, confusion immediately leads to disengagement. They just give up.
Exactly. Furthermore, the actual point of transaction, that exact moment money changes hands, is the most vital data capture opportunity. And in Thailand, physical cash is rapidly disappearing.
Yeah, you see it everywhere now. Everyone from street vendors to high-end boutiques is holding up a QR code to scan for payment.
That behavior shift is profound. So your loyalty platform absolutely must integrate directly with the dominant local payment gateways, and it has to do it in real time.
We're talking about Prompt Pay, True Money, and Rabbit Line Pay.
Yes. If your system cannot process a Prompt Pay QR transaction and instantly, within milliseconds, credit those loyalty points to the user's native line wallet, you are leaving the most vital behavioral data on the table.
I really love how you framed that earlier, that seamless, frictionless front end is basically the bait. You make it incredibly easy for the customer to join and interact.
Exactly. Get them in the door.
But let's look at the next phase of the journey. Once they are actually inside your brand's ecosystem, what do you do with all that transaction data? Like, how do you turn a literal mountain of purchase history into a reason for them to come back tomorrow?
Now we're moving from the front end to the brain of the operation. This is where data architecture, artificial intelligence, and behavioral gamification take over the heavy lifting.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Because we are finally moving past just giving someone a digital punch card. We are talking about creating a true customer 360 profile.
Yes, exactly.
And a brilliant example highlighted in the sources is the one program by Central Group. They have totally mastered centralized data. But the key to their success, and really the mandatory standard for any platform you choose to buy, is AI personalization.
And we have to be specific here. The platform must use predictive AI, not just rule-based segmentation.
Okay, what's the difference there?
Well, the distinction between a rule-based system and a predictive system is basically the difference between a reactive business strategy and a proactive one.
Okay.
A rule-based system runs on very basic, rigid logic. Like if a customer spends 1,000 baht, then automatically send them a 10% discount coupon. It is static. It does not learn.
But let me play the skeptic for a second, because I know exactly what our listeners are thinking. Isn't AI just a massive buzzword right now?
Oh, absolutely. It's everywhere.
Vendors slap AI powered on every single pitch deck they have. So if I am a CRM manager sitting in a demo room, how do I actually test if a vendor's artificial intelligence is genuinely predictive, or if it is just a basic if-then rule dressed up in fancy marketing language.
That's a great question. You test it by asking them to explicitly demonstrate how the system handles churn risk.
Churn risk, meaning the likelihood that a customer is about to abandon your brand forever.
Exactly. A rule-based system will only trigger an alert after a customer hasn't visited your store in, say, 90 days. But by that point, they have already formed a new habit with your competitor. It is way too late.
The relationship is already completely dead.
True predictive analytics works entirely differently. It tracks real-time behavioral data and subtle deviations from a customer's personal baseline.
So it's looking for changes in habit.
Yes, it analyzes the frequency of their visits, the microscopic changes in their basket size, the expanding time gaps between their interactions. The AI detects the risk of churn before the customer even consciously decides to leave.
That's wild. So it notices, like, oh, this specific customer's visit frequency has dropped beyond a mathematical threshold over a 30-day period.
Exactly. And it automatically triggers a highly personalized win-back offer to intervene before the relationship is permanently severed.
That is just brilliant. It is stepping in to save the relationship before the customer even realizes they were drifting away.
It's proactive retention.
And for the Thai market specifically, this AI has to be capable of Thai NLP, right? Natural language processing.
Oh, absolutely vital.
Because if your customer base communicates, writes reviews, and searches in Thai, an AI that only truly understands English context and sentiment is going to completely misinterpret incredibly valuable data.
Language nuance is critical for accurate personalization. And while that predictive AI is working quietly in the background, doing all that math, the front end needs to actively engage the customer's psychology through gamification.
Right, making it fun.
Yeah, and Thai consumers in particular respond incredibly well to immediate, tangible, interactive rewards.
So we are talking about daily check-ins on the app, spin the wheel bonuses, or completing small missions for extra points. It gives the user a little dopamine hit.
Exactly.
And the sources point out a really compelling use case for the health and wellness sector here too, which is visit streaks.
Oh, that's a huge one.
Yeah, so let's say you are running an aesthetics center. A patient buys a package for 4 laser treatments. The absolute hardest part of your job is getting them to actually come back for sessions 2, 3, and 4, right? Because life just gets in the way.
People get busy.
Exactly. But by gamifying that treatment plan with a visit streak, maybe they unlock a free premium facial. If they complete all 4 sessions exactly on schedule, you secure the continuous revenue.
It creates a powerful self-motivating incentive structure for the consumer. They want to keep the streak alive.
Yeah, nobody wants to break a streak.
Right. But, all of this sophisticated data collection, the predictive AI, the behavioral gamification, it brings us to a massive structural hurdle.
Ah, the less glamorous part.
Exactly.
Okay.
It is the operational backbone and, more importantly, the legal non-negotiables. You can build the most engaging gamification loop in the entire world. But if your system violates national law, or if it causes an administrative nightmare for your branch managers, the entire program will just collapse under its own weight.
Let's talk about the legal side first, because this is where the real financial danger lies for a business. Thailand's PDPA, the Personal Data Protection Act, is now fully enforced. And we are talking about regulatory fines of up to 5 million baht per violation.
It is absolute. It is not an optional feature for a software vendor to just patch in later when they have time.
Right.
The platform must have built-in consent management from day one. It also needs robust DSAR workflows.
DSAR, that stands for Data Subject Access Request. Right?
Exactly. This means if a customer walks in or sends an email demanding to see every single piece of data you have ever collected on them, or demands you immediately delete their profile, the system must be able to process that request efficiently and comprehensively.
You cannot have an IT guy manually searching through databases for 3 weeks.
No, absolutely not. And finally, the platform needs immutable audit logs to prove your compliance to government regulators if you are ever audited.
I really want to hammer this point home for the listeners because it's so important. If a software vendor just hands you a polished, one-page FAQ document claiming they're PDPA compliant, that is a massive red flag.
Huge red flag.
Real compliance is not just putting a lock on the front door of your business. It is having the security camera, the digital visitor log, and the heavy-duty paper shredder all permanently built into the architectural foundation of the software.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this is exactly where so many foreign loyalty platforms fail catastrophically in Thailand.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Because they were built for completely different regulatory environments, like in the US or Europe. They might have a generic privacy checkbox, but they are not engineered for the highly specific nuances of Thai law. Implementing a platform that isn't natively compliant puts your entire enterprise at massive financial and reputational risk.
And beyond the sheer legal terror of that, there is the operational reality of running a growing multi-location business.
Right.
Let's look at multi-branch management. Let's say you manage an F&B franchise or a large chain of health clinics. A one-size-fits-all centralized dashboard is practically useless for your day-to-day operations.
Oh, it's a nightmare. Headquarters definitely needs a macro view of the entire operation to track national trends, sure.
Yeah.
But consider a local branch manager in Chiang Mai.
Okay.
They need to see their specific branch's KPIs, their foot traffic, their local redemption rates, and they absolutely need the ability to run localized promotions tailored only to their specific customer base without accidentally triggering a 50% discount nationwide.
Oh man, imagine the nightmare of a franchise owner fighting with headquarters because a national promotion is eating into their specific local profit margins.
It happens all the time. This level of control cannot just be a simple toggle switch in the software. It requires a highly sophisticated, decentralized management hierarchy.
The software has to manage those permissions seamlessly. And heaven forbid you have to submit an IT support ticket and wait 2 weeks every time you open a new physical branch just to get them added to the loyalty network.
Exactly. Which naturally brings us to real-time analytics. The marketing team needs self-serve data dashboards.
Yes. If you launch a massive weekend promotion on a Saturday morning, you need to see the point redemption rates on Saturday afternoon so you can adjust. You cannot wait for a static Excel report from the IT department at the end of the month.
A loyalty program that cannot be measured in real time is a program that simply cannot be improved. Especially for mid-sized organizations where dedicated data science resources might be, well, limited or stretched thin, the platform itself must do the heavy lifting of data visualization and reporting.
Okay, so we have covered the frictionless front end, the predictive AI brain, and the legal and operational backbone.
Right.
But how does this actually apply to your specific industry? And more importantly, if you are sitting across the table from a vendor trying to sell you their system, how do you put them to the ultimate BS test?
Well, industry tailoring is vital to vet because a retail business operates fundamentally differently than a quick service restaurant or a medical clinic. Their tech requirements are wildly divergent.
Let's break down those specific needs really quickly. For retail, think fashion, beauty, lifestyle brands, they absolutely need coalition capabilities. You might want to partner across multiple brands under a parent company so a customer's points can be shared and spent anywhere in the ecosystem.
Exactly.
And they must have O2O, or online to offline, integrations with massive e-commerce platforms like Shopee and Lazada. Ensuring points earned online can be redeemed in the physical store.
Now, for the food and beverage sector, the operational focus shifts entirely to delivery speed and the dining experience. The platform needs API connectors, which are essentially software bridges that allow two different apps to talk to each other for delivery giants like GrabFood and foodpanda.
Right, ensuring delivery customers are still rewarded.
Exactly. And in store, they should utilize table QR beacons to trigger happy hour bonuses or dine-in rewards seamlessly without the waitstaff having to scan anything.
And for clinics and wellness centers, the entire game is patient continuity. A patient who gets a consultation at branch A must be instantly recognized and their loyalty tier acknowledged if they walk into branch B across town.
Seamless recognition.
Yes, and the system needs to automate appointment reminders directly through line or SMS to reduce no-shows. So, keeping all those very specific operational needs in mind, the sources lay out a ruthless, practical selection process for vetting these vendors. Like, how do we actually call their bluff in a meeting?
You start by rigorously scoring the vendor against the 12 features we've discussed, but you implement a hard, non-negotiable rule.
Which is?
If they score poorly on native line integration, PDPA compliance, or multi-branch management hierarchies, you reject them immediately.
Just walk away.
Yes. Those are foundational structural flaws that cannot be fixed with a quick software patch later on.
So once they pass that initial score, step 2 is you demand a Thai context demo. You do not let them show you a generic, pre-recorded slide deck. You make them simulate a real-world customer journey involving 5 different branches, paying with prompt pay, executed entirely within the native line interface.
Yes, live in the room.
If they cannot demo it live in the room, they cannot implement it in your business. Next, step 3, you demand local references. They must provide case studies and actual contact information for Thai retail, Thai F&B or Thai health businesses they currently serve.
And this is where a lot of really impressive international vendors stumble completely.
I do want to push back on that, though. Why are we being so incredibly strict about local references? I mean, if the tech is robust and they can prove it works perfectly for massive brands in Singapore or Hong Kong, shouldn't it just inherently work in Bangkok? Like, code is just code, right?
This raises an important question about the vast difference between perfectly written software code and messy operational reality. Tech that works flawlessly in a Singaporean market might not account for the absolute foundational dominance of prompt pay in the daily lives of Thai consumers.
Ah, okay.
Furthermore, there is the human element of your own workforce. The user experience, or UX, of the back-end management system must be available in the Thai language.
Oh, that makes sense.
Right. If you have branch staff in upcountry provinces trying to frantically troubleshoot a customer's missing loyalty points during a chaotic lunch rush, an English-only interface is going to cause immense operational friction and severely slow down your service.
That makes total sense. You aren't just buying software for the consumer, you are buying a tool your staff actually has to use under pressure. Which leads to the fourth and final vetting step. Negotiate a Thai SLA, or service level agreement. You need a dedicated, named account manager, and you need technical support operating during local Thai business hours, what they call ICT, Indochina time, from 9:00 to 6:00 p.m.
Essential.
Because if your point of sale system goes down at noon on a Sunday in a busy Bangkok mall, a support team that is just waking up at a completely different time zone is completely useless to you.
It fundamentally comes down to accountability. The vendor must act as a strategic partner embedded in your local operational reality and not just some distant software license provider who cashes a check every month.
So what does this all mean? If you take one actionable thing away from this deep dive, let it be this. Choosing a loyalty platform is not an IT project.
No.
It is the architectural blueprint for your customer's journey.
Right.
You are designing how they feel when they interact with your brand, how you intelligently anticipate their needs, and how you rigorously protect their private data. Do not fall for a flashy pitch that promises the moon, but relies on clunky webhooks and manual Excel data uploads. Use this criteria to systematically and ruthlessly shortlist vendors who can actually execute in the specific realities of the Thai market.
By demanding native integration, pushing for genuinely predictive AI, and insisting on rigorous local compliance, you are building a system that doesn't just annoy people with unused points, but actively cultivates genuine long-term business value.
It really changes how you look at that messy, ignored folder of loyalty apps on your smartphone, doesn't it?
Oh, totally.
Which leaves me with a final thought for you to mull over. As we talked about how predictive AI is getting so incredibly good at tracking microscopic behavior changes, predicting your churn risk before you even consciously think about leaving, will the future of these loyalty programs eventually become entirely invisible?
Oh, that's interesting.
Right. Instead of making you download an app, collect points, scan receipts, and spin digital wheels, will the brand of the future just use all this frictionless data to magically anticipate your needs so perfectly, sending you the exact right offer at the exact right moment, that you remain fiercely, unquestionably loyal without ever realizing you're participating in a program at all?